All right, so today is Saturday, so that means a brand new episode of Bleach Thousand Year Blood War, episode 19, The White Haze. And I have to say, this is one that I was looking forward to for a while because I knew they were going to go all out. But before I get to that, the reason why I knew they were going to go all out, just a quick recap. Thousand Year Blood War is the story of Ichigo and the Soul Reapers versus the Quincy's. There's been this long-standing feud. Quincy's got tired of it, have completely decimated Soul Society, and most of the Soul Reapers believe Soul Society is their forces are down to about 30%. That was mentioned on the last week's episode. So yeah, they are getting their asses handed to them. But um, this is gonna be one of those moments that things start to change or start to turn, at least in the pendulum of this war, because at no point is it ever one sided. I can say that for a fact, and we're seeing that as the anime goes on. It starts off at Squad Zero with Ichigo. He's leaving the members of Squad Zero to come back to Soul Society, and he jumps off of their palaces because that's what Squad Zero is. It's five different palaces. He jumps off, starts to head down to Soul Society, basically flying at I think Mach 1, 2, or 3. I don't know what it is. They told him it would take him a week, and he said he's going to make the trip in a few hours. And as he's flying down, he calls Kisuke Urahara just to get a little touch base, let him know that he's coming, and to tell them to hold on. Kisuke doesn't really tell him anything about what's going on in Soul Society, so to Ichigo, that means that things are pretty bad. So once he realizes that's happening, he pulls up his scarf that he's wearing and just books it. That's the last we see of Ichigo in this episode. Um, we haven't seen him really fight much this season, which is fine. That'll all make sense as time goes on. But cut back to the actual Soul Society and what's going on. We see Rukia. She is searching for some captains, lieutenants, somebody. And as she's flying, she gets that feeling that someone's grabbed her. And she looks around and she sees Asnot, who is standing, a few buildings away. And this is a man who almost killed her brother. So she decides to take him on in battle. Um, Beautifully drawn battle right off the bat. Just say that. Asnot is very creepy and scary. The voice actor just absolutely nailed it. Um, and I have heard his English counterparts, and it's just not the same. And I believe it's because the Japanese have put some type of effect, or the voice actor is putting an effect on himself. But it sounds very um, demonic, if that makes sense. So the voice actor for Asnot is just, you couldn't ask for a better voice actor. He absolutely nails it. He gives off this creepy vibe in the multiple versions that you see of him. Um, his ability is based off fear, and he was able to, obviously he got one up on Byakuya Kuchiki. As far as Rukia goes, he tries the same thing, but he's not having any effect on her. And as the battle goes on, you realize that, or she basically tells him and the audience that her body is dead, but she is not, and that has something to do with her sword's ability. Her body is basically freezing, and as she's fighting him, it gets colder and colder and colder to absolute zero, and she lands what looks like a killing blow. And as with all Bleach fights, there's multiple stages, and in that moment, Asnot releases his ability and just goes through a very, not so much gruesome, but just like a painful looking transformation. Has this crazy opening that comes up underneath his chin all the way down, and he is obviously his voice is changed and he sounds more in pain, if that makes any sense. But he gets the upper hand on Rukia and he surrounds her with his abilities. And it's because, whereas previously his abilities had no effect on her because her body was basically dead, in this form, all you have to do is look at him. And as soon as you see him, the fear overcomes you, and she starts picturing her friends and her brother being killed. She starts freaking out. The visual manifestation of fear in his ability, which is flies, overcomes her, and she freaks out and screams at the top of her lungs. And when it looks like she's about to get beaten, you see a slash come through this area that Asnot has Rukia in, and it's Byakuya. He came back to Soul Society after he got recovered and healed. And as he's there, Asnot is happy to see him because he wants to kill him. He has a weird infatuation with Byakuya's Bankai, and Byakuya helps Rukia as he can, and this drives Asnot even more insane, and he changes once again to this huge, giant-looking monster. And Byakuya compliments his sister. He tells her that she's gotten strong, and he tells Asnot that he's not going to be the one that kills. To land the killing blow, it's going to be his sister. And as he does that, he starts to walk away. Credits start to roll, and Rukia Kuchiki releases her Bankai, and this explosion of ice takes over the area that they're fighting at. You cut to Asnot's flashback of him getting his power and the thing that he is actually afraid of, which is letting down Yuhaba, and he dies. He's completely frozen. The top portion of his head is blown off, and he starts to break down. And when this is happening, credits are still rolling, finishing up, and we see Rukia in her full Bankai form, and it is beautiful. Ice, you know, she basically becomes ice, if that's any way, like an ice princess is the best description of how she looks. And yeah, she killed him. Who she killed the man who almost killed her brother. And as she starts to release her Bankai, Byakuya shows back up, puts his hand on her hand, and tells her to let it release slowly. He says how magnificent it is, and he explains how it is also a very dangerous Bankai because one misstep and she will kill herself. It's very powerful, but it's basically Rukia is basically a glass cannon type of character, fragile, but delivers massive amounts of damage, which is pretty cool. So Rukia is finally at the level of captain, as in terms of strength, and that's where it ends. That's where this week's episode ends. After all that, we have a little post-credit scene with two lieutenants, and it teases the next fight, which is going to be amazing as well. But yeah, this week's episode was beautiful. It was haunting, and it's one of those that this they have been working on this anime or this episode for a while, because on the very first trailer you saw glimpses of Rukia, which was used in this episode. So I am happy how this one turned out. We have had fight after fight, and we are going to continue to have fight after fight, which is awesome. A far cry from the original Bleach run, but that's a whole different reasoning why. I enjoyed it. I can't wait to see what my buddies say about this episode. I hope if you watched it, I hope you enjoyed it. And if I still haven't convinced you to check Bleach out, um, give a few more episodes. That's what I'm here to do, is try to convince you to check it out. And Bleach is special for a reason. Bleach is very important to me for a reason, and I want to share that with some of you. As long as you're not one of these crazy fans that think only one episode or one anime can be good. Um, so yeah, that's where I'm gonna end it today. Uh, it was a little bit longer than what I usually plan, but this was a good episode, and I hope you have a good one.